set up the board. Set up the board.
Okay, so I called this meeting to order at 2:12 p.m. And today we actually have a guest speaker, which will be Mr. Scott Tim. He's going to be talking to us about how to do public speaking. Woo!
All right, maybe I just want to do my Jimmy Fallon monologue. No. I've gone to see the competition at UNF or at FSCJ every year for the past couple of years, and some of the things that one of the competitions is impromptu public speaking, and then I think there's also one where you actually can prepare for a script. But the bottom line is when you get into business, you have to be able to speak. If you aren't a person who can be able to speak in front of a group of people, then you need to make sure that you hire somebody who can. And some of the things to think about as you're working with public speaking, and these are just kind of ideas to help you along, is first you got to do stuff to be able to capture people's attention, right? If we're writing or we're not paying attention, then this is all free. Okay. Public speaking. All right, first off, when you're in a situation where you're going to be speaking publicly, especially for the competition that we have, you will have everybody's attention in the room, and they're going to be watching every little move that you make. Some people have different mannerisms and things that you gotta be aware of on yourself when you get out and you're actually talking. Now, some things that you don't want to do is, number one, be completely nervous to where you can't even speak. So when you sit down, you went with the prompt, right? Well, do you remember your prompt? Huh?
It was about the goals.
The goals of what? Of FBLA. All right, so looking at FBLA and what are the goals? She was given a prompt. How long did you get to prepare?
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. What you need to do if you're in the impromptu competition is you think of the topic that they give you, and you need to sit down and you need to jot down some notes really quick about at least 3 main points. You want to kind of get a 3. If you live in the world of 3, you're going to be doing pretty good. So you're going to want to jot down 3. You allow cards, right? Put down 1 idea per card. And then come in and fill in a little bit of details. So it'll kind of give you a little bit of meat for each one of the points. Very much like writing a paper. Okay. Now, when I do enrollment, we get into public speaking. It's kind of funny because they had public speaking after writing. And I kind of did it backwards. Actually, they wanted public speaking and then writing. Here's the bottom line. Sit down and write. When you get the opportunity to write your notes, write out notes, and as you're doing this, hear what your words are in your head, because you're talking to yourself. Your first public speaking is going to be in your head. The idea is to take it from your head and put it on a note card. You get it on a note card. The only reason you have a note card is to keep you on track and not completely out of it, like I'm doing now. All right. A lot of what Miss Edwards and I were talking, and I don't know, she just kind of likes the way I have no fear of getting up in front of people and speaking. I really don't. I just love to talk. Be prepared with your 3x5 cards. If you're doing any other public speaking, you get it. Y'all are just impossible. I promise, I'm not gonna be here long. Okay, give me a few minutes. You're gonna want these few minutes if you're ever in the competition, right? Okay. Don't wear something that's going to distract from your face. Okay. Also, with your face, make sure that you're not If you're not too overdone, make sure that you don't have anything hanging out anywhere. You want people to be locked in on your eyes. Now, those of you who've been in my class know that I do a whole lot of hand gesturing. Part of the hand gesturing point that I do is sometimes it'll help give direction to where I want it to be. And a lot of what I do is this. You will see me do a lot of this. All it does is reminding people, hey, you need to be paying attention to me, because I'm the one who's speaking. Now, gentlemen, you get up, wear a tie, make it subdued, okay? Because that will draw away from your face. If it's busy prints, people kind of go, dang, that thing's loud. You don't want to wear loud colors. Kind of keep them dark, subdued, nothing loud. Ladies, pretty much the same thing. You want to wear the darker colors, stuff that's not overly ornate, and very conservative. The more conservative you are, people listen more, believe it or not. If you look at any kind of politician running for office, very bland, very bland. They got stuff that just kind of is on them and extremely conservative. If you watch sports announcers, especially on, like right now, you got NFL Network, you get on there and you watch some of these guys, they wear some extremely loud things. That's because it's all about the showmanship, and they want the attention. Look at me. But when you're public speaking, you basically want them to hear you. So people could actually be on out applications while you're talking because they'll still hear you. Not really. Always interact. Move around the room, even if you're standing still. Do you get a podium? Do you stand behind the podium? Not in the impromptu? Great. The more you can stay away from a podium in public speaking, the better off you're going to be. One, the constant movement keeps the eyes constantly moving. So people kind of stay awake and they're kind of witty. Hand gestures are a good way to help with what they call grammatical pauses. Stay away from the ums and the uhs and the and the okay. Those are grammatical pauses that make you look like you don't know what you're talking about. And you can know 100% of what you're talking about, especially if you're talking about you. And you get into the ums and the ahs. Instead of doing that, just take a breath. Now, I don't know if we're allowed to advocate these kind of things, but it's rated R because of language. But the King's Speech is probably one of the best movies I've ever seen to come with dealing with fear of talking in public. Okay. Now, he had a stuttering problem, plus he had he had a lot of mental issues, let's just put it that way, where he had to deal with a whole lot of stuff. Number one, he wasn't supposed to be the king, and he didn't prepare his whole life for it until his brother advocated. And then he kind of got thrown into it, and then we had this little thing called World War II. And he had to talk to his people and make them feel reassured. And in this, the biggest thing was breaking down the grammatical pauses. If you get to a point where you want to go, try to replace it with silence. And you find that if you use your hands a lot with basically gestures as you're speaking, sometimes it can be distracting. But it's better than having the ums and the uhs. Not only that, in the impromptu, you'll have your cards. You shuffle the cards a lot. So you're not necessarily all over here. You're pretty much here. You can shuffle them. Just don't do it nervously. Don't sit there and bounce the cards or anything like that. Okay? Because that's one of those distractions. You want to keep people's mind on you. Now, be relatable. That's one problem that we'll get into when we're actually giving public speeches, is we want to sound like we're uber smart. And who wants to sit there and listen to somebody who's smarter than them? You lose them. People want to feel like you're talking to them. And that's kind of where you need to go. When you walk around a room, in a room this size, having a talk isn't that difficult. And it's the same mindset that you have to have if there's 100 people or 1,000 people. You're just having a conversation with these people. You get in the center of the room, the attention's on you, you're the presumed expert, act like it. Don't get caught up with words that go more than 3 syllables. Keep your syllables down. It's more common. Stay away from slang. Be relatable. Is there any questions?
Sir.
That'll make it quick. Are there any questions? Is there any questions, Ms. Edwards?
No. Thank you so much for coming in.
Not a problem. Who's gonna do it? Who's gonna do that function?
I think I might do
And
it.
then you can talk to, I think we had some people who already said they were going to come to speaking. And then some of the, well, when you pick your events, you might have a performance piece.
I might do it.
That's cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Cliff, what were some things that he pointed out that you thought were actually very helpful?
Simple.
No. This is not how we do this. Raise your hand. Okay, Malcolm.
Simple.
Please emphasize.
It doesn't feel right because she's younger. But I gotta respect her.
Officer position? Is that what you-
Okay, so yeah, syllables, keeping your syllables down. Yeah, like didn't know you had to do that.
Brenda?
Refrain from using slang like, and and yardo.
Okay. Any more?
Don't wear loud or like colors that distract you from what you're trying to say.
Okay. No? Stay away from the podium and you. I guess I might as well. Okay, well, those are some good ones. So today we do not have a full quorum since we still have people going to other clubs, but that's all right since they can look at this online. But so it looks like most of our officers are not here today. Hearing officers. So what do you have going on inside your committee?
Not much right now. I've been doing roses.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to, help with recording, getting a recorder, talking to people,
Yeah, but you can have many people inside of your committee.
yeah.
And our treasurer's not here. What happens? Ms. Edwards?
I actually have a report about that. Our treasurer just resigned as of today. So, the open officer positions now rank up to 3. We need a treasurer, a historian, and a parliamentarian.
Who was the treasurer over at the money?
Jimena, I think her name was.
Yeah,
He
Jimena.
was the historian.
Historian. Hey, what's historian over again?
The historian is over the scrapbook. They work hand in hand with the reporter. Our scrapbook is truthfully our digital is our website.
Okay, I said I was gonna do that one. I just got to think about it.
All right, so listen up. Deadlines to get back to me. If you want to run for any one of those 3 positions, treasurer now, since that's open back up, historian or parliamentarian, you need to get the application to me by next Monday. I do not take late applications. That's why we had this problem with people actually having their officer positions. Just like a job, take it seriously because it is a job. I'll be back here. Hopefully, the friend will work with me, and I'll print out some more. So if you want one, just come see me after the meeting.
Yeah. Okay, so far inside of our social committee, can I like get attention, or are you just gonna keep writing? I don't really have to be up here and speaking all the time. Yeah, whatever. So, Brenda, about the t-shirts.
Yes.
Have you got any ideas?
I do, actually. I was so proud of myself. Look, it took me a good while to do this. Well, Miss Edwards, are you gonna pull it up on your email because I sent it to your email? All right, so I logged in for a reason.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Or
Orla doesn't even know what love is.
Oh my God.
All the way up.
Yes, Edward, you went that one real far. You went that one real far.
What are you looking for?
Oh my God.
There you go. Okay, wait. Where are you? Okay.
How do you show?
Okay, so I have two different ideas. Well, not two different.
I'm trying to like move it so that I can. Oh my God. I'm trying.
Why? Okay,
Trying to
so
share
gonna share the screen. Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
so I have two different ideas. Well, not two different ideas, like two different colors of shirts, and then there's like different logos, and like I was trying to incorporate some of the new ones, but like I really didn't like them, so I did my own thing, and yeah, hope you'll like it. It took me a good while. Oh, if you see.
That's a whole bunch.
Oh yeah, your girl is. Alright, so this is the back of the first one. I like the one. Yeah.
Oh God, why did this here? Oh, because there's a hole in her cord.
Now,
There you go for me.
So this is the first one. This is the first back, not the front. And then. That's the second one with the Wolfson logo. I don't really like this one because Wolfson's really.
I like that one.
Oh, it's right there. Oh, okay. This is another one. I kind of like it because it's like paws up, but like, I don't know. Like,
You should did a mix with like blue and red.
if you just wait,
Oh, sorry.
you hating on me.
My bad, sis.
I used this website that was really weird. And then there's this one, which is just one paw. And there's that one. I'm sorry, you can go do this because I didn't have to go do this.
What happened? What happened?
Okay then.
The court put you in touch comments from the audience right
Oh
now.
shoot.
Or you raise your hand to be recognized.
Yeah, raise your hand, Missy. Recognize. Yeah, you can open the rest of them.
Yep. Just one paw. This is how it goes. This is how we wave bye to all of our haters.
Bye.
A whole lot of bats. Oh my God. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that one's nice. That one. Oh yeah, and we had a logo contest, but since nobody even submitted anything, I think we're gonna keep that open for a little while longer until somebody wants to draw something.
Oh, is that behind wig?
Or else,
We really need to have these shirts done already, so either you all pick between the designs that Rosa has given, or
That
we'll go with the same order. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, right now, all I have is project from my
this is
Pick between the options that Brenda just showed you all, or it will be the same shirt that we already have, which if you showed a picture of last class.
We chose it on
I'm
the
so sorry,
team.
Brenda.
this is how it goes. There is like not a single choice except for one of the ones that she's made because oh my gosh, I can't order it anymore. I can't. I just can't.
No more yellow.
I can't. I can't even anymore.